Dear friends, today, we'll talk about a crucial episode of science and research paralleling human health which is influencing the generations to come. We talk about why the US Navy created HAARP, the research director's description of the facility as the laboratory without boundary walls, having no barriers, the studies that went into it, and the different allegations that have been made by critics that the facility is assaulting people all around the world. The recent claims made by outspoken critics as HAARP responsible for the Turkey-Syria earthquakes and more but still largely lacking scientific evidence. Please try and watch the complete episode as the video has been made with great efforts and energy to understand the complex world in which we live. Please also subscribe, like, share the video which will further motivate us to perceive more volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous subjects which is affecting humans and human health in large. Thank you. Cheers. Magnetic signals, GPS signals. Radio waves, satellites, mobile phones, and a multitude of sensors to detect them, are all present in the environment today. We confront the greatest uncertainty of natural disasters striking the Earth, where we live because of climate change and the numerous energies released by the various planets and forces. We talk about why the US Navy created HAARP. HAARP, or High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, is an Alaskan research facility for investigating the ionosphere that is situated close to Goggle. How is then ionosphere measured? It is measured through an instrument, IRI. The primary instrument, Ionospheric Research Instrument, is a collection of 180 radio antennas covering a 0.13 square kilometer region, 33 acres. HAARP employs a strong high-frequency transmitter and an array of 180 HF cross-dipole antennas. The instrument uses 3.6 megawatts of power to transmit at frequencies between 2.7 and 10 megahertz and sends radio waves into the ionosphere, where they induce wave-like motion in the electrons. And temporarily disrupts the ionosphere, which is the outermost layer of Earth's atmosphere above the mesosphere, located between 50 and 400 miles from the planet's surface. HAARP is the most potent ionospheric heater in the world which excites the electron and raises electron temperature. Using HAARP, researchers may change the density of electrons in a particular area to observe how the ionosphere responds to environmental changes. Due to the importance of the ionosphere for radio communications, the Air Force started building the $290 million project in Goggle, and the location was picked because it was a flat area in the North Polar Zone, where auroras can be seen. Despite the location was close to a busy road, it was sufficiently remote to be free from any adjacent sources of electrical or radio interference. In 2015, the management of HAARP was given to the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Conspiracy theories about HAARP have grown in popularity as Hugo Chavez, the president of Venezuela, attributed it to the 2010 Haiti earthquake. However, the majority of these hypotheses focus on how HAARP might be used to alter the weather or affect people's minds. In response, HAARP scientists pointed out that the ionosphere is much higher than the troposphere and stratosphere, where Earth's weather actually occurs. Regarding any additional effects, HAARP scientists added that the amount of energy the IRI deposits in the ionosphere is significantly lower than that supplied naturally by the Sun, and that any IRI-related effects quickly dissipate. Conspiracy theorists attribute an upsurge in natural disasters, particularly the recent earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, to the U.S. Air Force's High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, HAARP. The Alaska-based HAARP program investigates the characteristics and behavior of Earth's atmosphere, which can be excited by HAARP for research purposes. How the conspiracy theorists ended up on a program that is intended to research the influence of the atmosphere below the surface may be the bigger puzzle in this case. People begin to use their imaginations at this point. According to conspiracy theories, HAARP is somehow responsible for an increase in lightning worldwide, which in turn somehow contributes to earthquakes like the ones that occurred in Turkey and Syria. These believers appear to enjoy linking HAARP to any natural calamity by claiming that the United States or other international partners may exert excessive influence over all natural phenomena by utilizing HAARP's capabilities. Nothing is proved on reality. In addition to having no effect on weather patterns, according to scientists, HAARP has nothing to do with earthquakes. The frequencies that HAARP can emit at range from 2.7 to 10 MHz, and because the antennas are organized into a complex phased array, the beam can be split into many beams or take on a variety of shapes. A total of 30 transmitter shelters with 6 pairs of 10 kW transmitters each are used by the HAARP installation. To study the effects, researchers at HAARP heat up a small portion of the ionosphere using HF radio transmitters. HAARP expedites a process that could take weeks or years for satellites to observe. The University of Alaska Fairbanks claims that using a facility like HAARP, the ionosphere can be used as an antenna to stimulate low-frequency waves. The ionosphere can be used to perform an experiment at will to build plasma structures and abnormalities, and a range of additional experiments are also feasible. The physical processes that take place in the stimulated zones are studied by scientists. According to the program, controlled observation of the activities resulting from the usage of the IRI will allow scientists to better understand processes that occur continuously under the natural simulation of the Sun. The largest atmospheric researchers in the government could investigate the ionosphere, the top layer of the Earth's atmosphere. Citizens who are wary of HAARP's methods have become aware of the organization due to a variety of factors. Been recognized for doing successful and helpful research over the years, but because of the complexity of its work, officials assert that critics have mainly misunderstood its goals. It has been the target of criticism due to this ever since it began. HAARP, with its 360 radio transmitters, 180 antennae, and 5 powerful generators, is supposedly built to encourage secrecy and is located in the distant wilderness of a state with a low population. When activated, these devices produce geometric patterns in all directions. The antennae, which are each a foot thick and extend 72 feet into the sky, are still drawing attention. The public started reporting weird occurrences soon after the facility opened, not just in the local area but all around the world. Activists criticized HAARP's actions and raised the issue of what the group was truly up to. The government has taken conscious steps to allay concerns about the nature of its activities, whilst continuing to deny any connection with weather changes, earthquake frequency fluctuations, and chemtrails in the air. However, these are hardly sufficient to appease HAARP's well-known critics, such as former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura and Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. Ventura questioned whether HAARP was being used by the government to control the weather or bombard people with mind-controlling radio waves. The Air Force confirmed that Ventura had submitted a formal request to visit the research station, but it still refused to let him and his crew in. Is the research program to make weather a weapon? One of the most well-known and pervasive charges against HAARP is that the organization purposefully causes disasters like earthquakes, cyclones, flooding, and snowstorms all over the world. The size of HAARP's fields of antennas has the potential to cause enormous damage to the environment because, unlike other ionosphere research centers around the world, only HAARP has the capability of focusing the energy from the field onto a specific spot in the atmosphere. According to HAARP's detractors, this capability allows it to send microwave radiation beneath the ground, strategically pinpointing fault lines. One of the innumerable earthquakes allegedly caused by HAARP was the Auroral earthquake in November 2017, which claimed almost 500 lives. Iran's Deputy Interior Minister for Security and Law Enforcement, Mohammad Hossein Zulfikari, rejected malicious intent despite hostilities between those two countries and the United States, saying that such rumors lacked any scientific basis. It is difficult to dismiss opponents so simply given that several branches of the US government have considered technologies used to alter the weather, alter the planet. Weather modification will become a component of domestic and global security and might be done unilaterally, according to a 2005 statement from the Air Force. It might be employed for deterrent as well as offensive and defense purposes. An integrated set of technologies that can significantly increase US capability to achieve global awareness, reach, and power, or significantly reduce an adversary's capability to achieve the same. These technologies include the ability to produce artificial weather, modify space weather, and create precipitation, fog, and storms on Earth. Research plan to exercise human mind? If not centuries, then certainly millennia, the idea of mind control has existed. Although controlling the masses has always involved manipulating people's attitudes, feelings, and choices, technology has only lately been used to do this task effectively. Science fiction has given way to reality. HAARP detractors assert that the installation is using low-frequency vibrations to telepathically attack people all around the world. The various global surveillance devices used by HAARP were revealed in 2013 when former Central Intelligence Agency employee Edward Snowden released classified government documents. There are claims that man-made VLF, very low frequency, ground waves are replacing natural geomagnetic waves in order to affect people's behavior by mimicking the frequency of brain waves. According to rumors, HAARP is also capable of reaching and influencing entire regions by using cell phone towers as electrical stimulation conductors. In an effort to disprove assertions, Bob McCoy, head of the Geophysical Institution at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, stated that electrical signals in the mind are low frequency. The waves from HAARP have a very high frequency and are meters long. Therefore, they are unable to exert mental control. However, concerned citizens who have cited the findings of Yale University's professor of physiology and the invention of electromagnetic mind control, Jose Delgado, Ph.D., contend that this claim is untrue. According to Delgado's peer-reviewed report, Physical Control of the Mind, Toward a Psychocivilized Society, electromagnetic stimulation can be used to regulate some mental manifestations, glandular processes, and human movements. Information exchange and the Columbia Shuttle. Skeptics contend that HAARP has the capability to disrupt communications networks due to its futuristic-seeming research and the organization's stated claim that it is creating future tech equipment, including the aforementioned radio frequency transmitters. They assert that HAARP's advanced technology has the power to completely destroy electronic communication infrastructure. Claims that HAARP was to blame for the Columbia Space Shuttle's malfunction and subsequent 2003 crash and destruction of the craft's electronic systems are related to this capacity. This assertion is supported by radio engineer Marshall Smith, who claims that HAARP was operating in missile defense mode starting about 90 minutes before Columbia's re-entry, and then for about 90 minutes afterward. Marshall Smith was monitoring HAARP on the tragic day that Flight STS-107 met its demise. However, a formal inquiry revealed that the problem was actually caused by a damaged wing. Despite being well developed, theories on the goals and activities of HAARP still mainly lack supporting data. Nevertheless, vociferous and enraged detractors flood the internet, drowning out several scientists who try to dispel a barrage of allegations. Despite the fact that HAARP has welcomed visitors and is providing guided tours to dispel mystery, distrust still exists. Al Zahelsky, an Army veteran who went to the facility during its first open house in 2016, shared the same view as many of HAARP's critics. Even though it's available to the public, there's a lot of things they don't tell you about it. We're not getting the complete story, and that institution still has secret information. It is unknown whether the rise of geological disruptions around the world is really a coincidence caused by HAARP's operations or if the group is hiding information from the public. We are unlikely to know for sure whether there is cause for concern until more evidence mounts. However, we are aware that other government explanations have been exposed as cover-ups over the years, including the JFK assassination. When official pronouncements are used in place of useful information, people start to doubt the government and look into the matter more. Thanks for watching and giving your valuable time. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to keep our motivation going. Cheers!